Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Jeffy and this is my best friend Android the Chihuahua. Today we are going to be trying a technique that I have never done before, and that is using a Pringles container as our soap container. So hopefully this turns out well. I have a really fun design in mind. It's going to be pretty basic. We're just going to be using 3 colors and a white for a background. And so our white is yellow mica, red is red mica, and blue is blue mica from Brambleberry. So we have the 3 most basic colors. I'm really hoping with the way that we're going to be pouring all 3 of these with a white background, they're going to mix together a little bit and they should look really interesting in the final piece. Before we get into this soap project, please hit that like button and subscribe down below so you can see more of our fun soaping videos just like this one. And if you want to see what soaps we have currently for sale, you can see everything in our shop at jeffyandchihuahua.com. I want our colors to be really bright, so I'm going to be adding about 1 teaspoon of color to each of these little oil mixtures and then just giving them a really good stir to get everything combined. To clean out my Pringles can, I'm just going to use some Lysol Kitchen Pro and some paper towels to get all those little crumbs. Next, I'm going to be lining it with some parchment paper. I've seen people tape their parchment paper before, but I think for this project, I'm just going to cut it to about the right size and hold it in place when we pour our soap. Then as our soap expands, it should hold itself into our little container pretty nicely. This right here looks like the dream setup. I left a little bit on top to make it easier to pull out, and I've never done this technique before. I think there's a chance that we're going to have to cut this bottom off eventually, but hopefully we can just use this to pull it out. I guess we'll see how stuck it gets. I'm not quite sure how much soap we're going to need to fill this Pringles container, but I ended up making about 3 pounds because that's just my regular recipe. And the container I'm going to be using to pour into the Pringles container, I really want to use this because of that little spout. And I don't quite know if this is big enough for the full 3 pounds, but I'm still going to use it, and then I'm just going to keep a little bit of our white color till the end, and then if I don't have enough room, I'll wait till we pour some out and then finish putting the rest of our batter in this to complete the full pour. All of our colors look nice and mixed together, so next I'm going to be adding my lye water to my oils and giving it a good stir until we get it to a nice light trace. Because I'm making 3 pounds of batter, I'm going to be using 3 ounces of this Juicy Pear fragrance oil from Nurture Soap. I'm also going to be throwing in just a little bit of this sodium lactate. Once the lye water and the oil are really well combined, you can go ahead and add that sodium lactate and fragrance oil. We're just going to be pouring half of this batter into the 3 colors, but we want to leave about half of the color in this bowl so that we can pour the white back in so that a majority of our batter ends up being white. Alright, so those look pretty good to me, and I'm just going to pour that white back into the main bowl. I think I'm going to start with about half of the white, and then I'll put the other half in later. Then I'm going to do the yellow, and I definitely want the yellow in the middle. Alright, that filled the container a lot, and I'm going to be filling it a lot before we pour into the Pringles. Because next I want the red, and I want the red on this side. So same pour technique. I'm going with our blue. As you can see, I really filled it. I officially used all of our colors, and I just have half a thing of white left. So I think I'm going to begin pouring, and then once it's not so high, I'll drop that white on the top to create a little crazier of a design. And I'm just going to slowly go from up here. I'm halfway through. The color's looking a little mucky down there. I'm going to go ahead and pour the rest of this white in. I almost think our colors got too mixed together going down. I can't quite tell. All right, that's one Pringles can. I have a little bit left, so I'm gonna try and see if I can get a second Pringles can real quick. All right, so I ended up having some leftover batter and I got a second little canister, and I have to say, I think the design I wanted with the one that I did first, I did not achieve, but I think I got it the second go around by just dripping it down the side. So I guess we'll have to wait until I can cut these open and see which one is the best method. My first little half log came out pretty perfectly. I did not need to cut the bottom off of the Pringles can for this one. I was able to get this one out of the mold by just tugging on that wax paper. The only thing that happened in one little corner is a little bit of a chip. So that's probably not the best method to unmold these. What I ended up doing for this second one is just cutting the bottom off with some scissors. It was pretty easy. And now I'm just kind of unrolling it like you would a can of biscuits. I just sliced our bars, and I have to say I'm beyond surprised with how these turned out. So these first two were the ones that I poured just the rest of what we had down the side. They actually did not turn out how I thought they were going to, because the design actually worked exactly like I thought it was going to in our main Pringles container. So that is definitely the go-to trick. Just pour slowly directly down the middle. I will say I don't really like the white in these. If I redid this again, I would do it without that white color. It really didn't help them very much. Normally I like having a white color for them to kind of bounce off of, but these colors got so blended with what was around them that I think that white color really just kind of made the colors more dull, and the bars that we did on that first half that had less white in them turned out to be absolutely stunning. If you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing for more fun videos just like this one. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.